Welcome to Momentum Monday. Today is February 12th, 2023. Howard, how do you feel?
Life is good, my man. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
Oh boy.
Everything's fine.
Let's rip us through the market here.
Let's talk about the stock market. So last week we talked about the possibility of potential pullback, and we actually saw that pullback. And I think the main reason is because the US dollar and interest rates are kind of firming up and trying to perk up and rally. And let's see if they'll be able to really stage. So this is inverse yield, inverse treasuries, so kind of interest rates basically. So if interest rates in the US dollar continue to rally, equities and more precisely tech stocks are going to have some serious headwind to fight with.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, still intermediate term uptrend, still above a rising 2050, still above the flattening 200-day. So no signs that this is the beginning of another leg lower. The Fed said they're data dependent. On Tuesday, we have the CPI for January. Lately, the market have been having their biggest day either on Fed's day or on CPI day. So if this is really another a new bull market, we should see a significant rally on Tuesday on good numbers.
Okay.
So let's see what Tuesday brings. But other than that, the normal things. I mean, last week we saw a lot of the high flyers from year to date, especially tech stocks, kind of pulling back 20% or more. So it will be interesting to see if some of them can bounce. Even a company like Google, they're pretty significant pullback, still above its 50-day. Obviously, there's a specific reason.
What's it look like on the? Yeah, that's like kind of the big news story. What's the weekly? I mean, you got the antitrust. You got just super weak.
One of the weakest mega caps for sure. Google and Amazon definitely the weakest.
Yeah, big volume. I mean, the trouble for Google is they can't do acquisitions like Microsoft can because they got antitrust. It's kind of almost unfair, but that's the way the world works sometimes. Microsoft's got kind of all the momentum around ChatGPT.
Mm-hmm.
Google can't really do anything because, I mean, it's probably good for startups that are focused in this area because there's going to be a ton of acquisitions. I just don't think Google can do anything big. And any bad news is just you can see the sell-off on Google. I mean,
yeah.
I'm long Google, and I don't buy the total disruption. But it's just that type of market. You can't just dig your heels in here. It's Google's fighting a lot of battles right now. But interesting trend line on the just very long term. And
Yeah.
I don't think the hype's overrated in this case around ChatGPT. It's like around AI, but at the same time, I think Google's demise is greatly
exaggerated. Yeah.
You can see the froth like headed back into the market. You got Tesla running up into resistance, all these silly AI names running. I mean, if you're going to buy Tesla up after a double here into massive resistance, I don't see it. But at the same time, I don't know. It was a good rally for a lot of stocks.
Yeah, significant rally for a lot of stocks.
Energy's kind of resuming its leadership here.
Exactly, which if this is the case, then obviously inflation expectations are going to rise with it.
Yeah.
And therefore tech stocks are going to have some issues here, but definitely very strong year to date for most tech stocks, especially semiconductors. I think the SMH is up 20% year to date, a lot of led by NVIDIA. Obviously another AI play, which right now is in a pullback mode. I wouldn't be surprised if it tests 200 this week.
It's also doubled off the lows, basically.
Exactly. AMD, and then a lot of the like smaller, especially car chips, very
Wow.
strong stocks that can use some pullback to build
Yeah, we had talked about Amcor, that pulled back.
new basis.
Yeah.
So
So I think the value energy stuff kind of catches a bit here. Where's OIH? The OIH is probably the stronger of the
yeah,
energy
it's kind of
service.
setting up here. Let's look at weekly. Yeah, I mean, it's looking beautiful on weekly. It's kind of
Yeah.
setting up for a breakout.
Yeah, the oil service stock. So they didn't pull back as the actual oil pulled back. So if I was going to trade anywhere in here, it would be around the OIH. It just looks like it can go much higher. Where's the monthly on the OIH? But again, like,
400.
yeah, but that would still be a big move up to 400 here.
Yeah, 20%. So yeah.
So that's kind of the index that I'd be looking at if I was swing trading and trading, just because energy inflation rates seem to be perking back up, which would make it hard for tech. It's a trader's market, right? Like there's a lot of tech stocks that are shortable.
Yeah, incredible opportunities if you're a trader. Yeah.
The one long idea I had still working as Interactive Brokers. But again, it's not going to do much if the market rolls over.
What's Schwab doing? Let's see.
Yeah, it's holding in there. Goldman Sachs, had that head cover thing, Goldman Sag, and it's rallied, I don't know, 10% since.
Yeah.
So financials look fine. I mean, I don't think the market looks like it's in any trouble unless rates really start running away.
And if they do, we'll probably see rotation back into energy, industrials, just alt economy, financials, alt economy stocks. So I think, higher rates are not necessarily negative for the entire market. Maybe they're negative for tech stocks.
Yeah.
The only thing that's negative for the entire market is recessionary expectations all of a sudden start to rise. That's the thing that's gonna bring the entire market down. But high inflation, no, just rotation into other sectors.
Yeah. Well, I was just saying uranium also strong.
Yeah, definitely. Uranium.
So it's just stuff that I don't normally. CCI, I think, was the one that's or CCJ. I'm just looking up.
Yeah, CCJ.
CCJ.
Yeah, definitely one of the strong ones.
Yeah. So again, it's just rotating. There's the it's been a pretty good year for traders, I think. What do you do? Are you high cash?
Few high cash, but I'm also actively trading. Swing trading, definitely more than last year. Whatever shows up, like Thursday, Friday, I was mostly on the short side as tech stocks were, pulling back. Tesla and Nvidia on the short side, and on the long side, just earnings. What was the one on Friday? DXCM, the one they had
They had a Super Bowl commercial today, Dexcom.
Oh, okay, that's bad news.
I don't know. I mean, it's an interesting company. Diabetes, obviously.
I hope it runs in the short term. I have a position in both calls and stock, setting up for a potential breakout here. 125.
It was interesting. The Super Bowl was all like booze and it was all beer and soda again and big brands. There's another E-Trade Baby commercial, but there was no like speculative companies. It was all big companies. So a lot of the froth is out of the market, except you see it showing up in some of the chasing of AI stuff.
Yeah, but those trends could last a while. I mean, right now we only have 3 really kind of pure AI stocks that you can play: AI, BBAI, and S.
I don't think they're pure.
I mean,
they're just ticker symbols.
Yeah, ticker symbols. But companies that are in that space. I mean, if it was really like a really FOMO environment, we would have like 10 tickers of this. Right now we only have 3. I think it's very early.
AI is about machines, and so there's no pure plays other than really companies that probably NVIDIA, but no, Microsoft. It's really just Microsoft, Google at this point, and they're not pure plays. But so it is just it's tricky. The semis that look strong pulling back, the financials look okay, and
Look,
Wow, look at that move. Where's Cirrus? Cirrus is it's been around forever. What's the weekly look like? Wow. Some great looking. What's some monthly
big
look like on that?
sideways. This is
Wow.
it. Big trend.
That is a fantastic company. Jesus. Anyway, so yeah, there's some strength out there, but it's mostly semiconductors.
I mean,
Which
the
goes to the machine,
software is
yeah.
not doing that bad either. Like they had decent earnings season. The Cloudflare earnings beat on Friday. Obviously, the market weakness kept a lid on it. Now has had a decent season. I think the playbook is pretty clear. If CPI is below expectations and earnings rates kind of start to revert lower, tech will continue to outperform. You should own tech. If interest rates start to perk up again with the US dollar, you should be probably short tech and long any old economy stocks, and especially energy. Pretty simple playbook. Until we see signs of the market worrying about recession, I think we'll see a rotational market.
Yeah, I mean, the narrative has kind of changed to soft landing. I don't know if I believe that, but like considering where we were 90 days ago, we were worried about the tech contagion catching on. Financials have held up well, real estate's held up pretty well. We'll see if we get another ratchet up in rates and inflation, things will cave in. So considering the rally we had and the sentiment shift towards, soft landing, I think you should err on the conservative side into this. I wouldn't chase anything if you were, but we're in a lot better position. Wow, Italy up 50%.
I mean, Europe has recovered the entire 2022 losses already, which, is kind of the market thinking about low interest rates. They're going to pull back. The economy is going to have a soft landing. Yeah. And at the same time, you have Brazil, which is commodity-based economy, kind of starting to roll over. That's a big sign for me. So it's something
more towards what? Sign towards growth, or
I mean, that the market thinks that inflation is going to come down. So if the market is wrong, those trends will reverse. Europe is going to get sold, and then Brazil is going to rally, right? If it's the opposite, if inflation goes up again.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, everybody have a great week. I think, is there a lot of earnings this week, Ivan? Or are we through?
Yeah, quite a few earnings still. Hundreds of companies still to report, definitely.
Okay. All right. We'll be back next week. Ivan, have a great week.
All right. You too, Howard.